So I wasn't really planning on doing an update video so hot on the heels of the last one, but I got some really, really nice gear that warrants me doing a quick update on the Albrecht's Aether Arcanist. Because just forget everything I said about the build before today, because I've got it up to 22 out of 16, which means it deals a ton of damage per tick. Additionally, I have Calidor's Tempest maxed out, thanks to my plus skills gear. I decided to switch over to Mirror of Herocrates from Ivan's Sphere, but I still got my Ivan's Sphere and Conversion as abilities, and I decided to throw Reckless Power with Ascendance into the mix as well, because it's a damage boost for a short period of time, and I don't mind the health loss, because really, I mean, I just get one-shotted anyways if something gets close to me, or I pop my shield. I still have Electra's Flash Freeze at 1, all of the passive abilities are higher, and I'm working in Iskander's Elemental Exchange because of 2 pieces of gear I have on him now. One is Crushing Will, with Haunted Steel as its component, and the other is the Mantle of the Weeping Eye, with Mutated Scales as its component. I still have the Inscribed Bracers, with Unholy Inscription. I'm using just some Adept's Greaves for the movement speed right now, and I really should re-roll those into something, probably something defensive, because I feel good about my damage right now. Similarly, the Ranger's Badge of Squalls is just a Ranger's Badge for now, and I'll probably put something defensive there. I now have a Frizzix Utility Belt, with its super high regeneration on both health and energy, and +1 all skills. The Molten Skin I put in there originally to get the physique up, but I don't really think I don't know if I really need that much physique right now, actually. But I'm going to keep it because I actually want to have a little defense. Similarly, I have Polished Emeralds in my rings because I had a different hat on that needed the physique. So they just are going to sit there for a while because I really need to get an Aether Lord Signet and then something else, or another Aether Lord Signet. Aether Lord's Signet. Because that's +2 to the beam, in addition to having a ton of health, energy, and Aether damage. For my necklace, I have a Death Ward. The cold damage is not really what I'm shooting for with this. I want it because of the vitality damage, the physique, the energy, and some resistances. And Defy Death is a pretty nice thing when it triggers, though I don't want to rely on it. His chest piece is still his Ornate Robe of Incantations. Optimally, I'd want something like, I think you can get Aether Fire Ornate Robe of Incantations or something like that. And I would try to go for that. Or something to raise physique, just so he can have more physique to equip gear. And then he has his Blackwood wand with a Wrathstone. Now, I did some trading with people. I ended up with Mistwalker leggings just as part of the trade, which have Aether resistance, which helps a little with, reflect. But it's mostly for that tiny bit of movement speed. They'll probably switch those out for something else later. But I finally got my Nether Crown, and the Nether Crown is awesome. I do want to put something that's not a Polished Emerald in it, like a Runestone, I believe would be the thing, or maybe even a Bristly Fur or Dense Fur, something to get a resistance, preferably Aether resistance, built up, because, yeah, I want to have something to deal with Reflect, and I can't really deal with it right now. Even though I do have a chunk of health regen due to certain pieces of gear, I really, really want to build up my Aether resistance just so he can handle that. But anyways, yes, the Aether Crown is awesome. I think it's awesome just for Calidor's Tempest or for Albrecht's Aether Ray. It's great regen. It's got Aether damage, elemental damage, and +1 all Arcana skills. Just a really solid crown. Technically, the Mask of Delusion would be better, defense-wise, but I want this because of the DPS. And I have one of those, and it's on another character, and I just want this for him, because he's a straight Arcanist. And then, the other big thing is Haunt. The Haunt Relic provides Aether damage, elemental damage, enemy absorption, less damage from undead, and +1 to all Arcana skills. The actual ability Haunt, it deals a little cold, a little Aether, which is why I don't mind you know, that, and it lowers enemies' vitality resistance and leech life resistance. So the Haunted Steel gives a little tiny boost to that. And I'd consider the Chthonian Thread Sash, I think it's called. But anyways, you know, the chance for the target to fumble and have impaired aim is a nice little bonus as well. It's just a tiny skill that provides a tiny debuff. I don't know if I'd call it tiny, but yeah, it does help with the beam's damage. The vitality, less than the lowered vitality resistance, does actually help the beam. So Haunt is not a tiny skill, but it's not vulnerability. We'll just put it that way. But also, the completion bonus for this relic is Aether damage, elemental damage, and +2 to 1 Arcanist skill. I ended up being able to make 3 of these. One had Iskandra's, one had Kalidor's, and one had Albrecht's Aether Ray. That's why, like, it can do 35 to 50% Aether damage as its main thing, as its main Aether damage bonus, and that's why I have kind of a lower end one, the 38. So, yeah, I got a little screwed on that, but I can't make any more for now. Maybe in the future we'll try to re-roll it. But yeah, I'm really happy with having this, and it makes this guy absolutely feel great. His 85 energy regen, and his Aether damage is now, with his Aether aura turned on, 438 to 487, and he has plus 266. His DPS jumps up to about 1,000. Excuse me. It's a little under 1,000. But the other key thing I want for this is I want to make vitality damage and fire damage part of his damage stacking. So his fire damage is not fantastic. He has way more cold damage thanks to his amulet. But his vitality damage is actually building up nicely. If I could, I believe I had in the previous video shown a Glyphed Archive of Annihilation, and I'd really like to get that back, but I had to break it down to get the Haunted Steel out. So I'd want to go back to that to have more vitality damage, if I could get one crafted. And actually, I think I could craft them up if I had more cracked lodestones. So that'll be his next craft up thing, in addition to rings. And these 2 pieces need to be replaced as well. And maybe his chest piece if I can get something good. So, to sum up, I got the Albrecht's Aether Ray to 22 out of 16. And we're going to go out and test it. So we're gonna pop that. Whoops. So yeah, I did that a little sloppily, but because I hit Haunt first. Yeah, I just instantly killed Gutworm, and it felt really nice. Oh, a Fanatic's Overcoat. That's a really good one. Now, I'm gonna note one thing. I have Crushing Will in here, and I said I might want to trade it out for the Glyph of Annihilation, Glyphed Archive of Annihilation. I may not do that now, because Crushing Will has a lot of casting speed. And casting speed, it works well with Kalidor's Tempest and keeps it going fast. But also, the casting speed, it helps cast the beam faster, and you move and spin faster while you have the beam going, when your casting speed is higher. So it's actually not a loss for the beam, really. It's just, casting speed does not add ticks in, it doesn't add damage per tick, it just makes that faster, and makes the turning of the beam faster. So, it's not a complete loss for having high casting speed with the beam. But also in this particular build, the casting speed is really awesome for that, because having more Kalidor's Tempests fly out is just really, really good. Now you may also notice my energy is gone, but by the time we get to like another pack, my energy is going to be back. Or at the very least manageable. Because you may also notice I have 172 energy potions, because this guy rarely, if ever, actually needs to take them. Now, of course, I say that just as an enemy hero shows up, so we're actually going to take one. We're not going to stand in that. Eh. Yeah, I am picking up scavenge plating. crafting haunt drained a lot of my supplies, and one of which is like polished emeralds and stuff, because I use those and sell them for cheap cash. Pop that, pop that, pop that. Haunt. Woohoo, that was a defy death. And he's instantly gone. Mostly because I popped reckless power. Ooh, more inscribed bracers. They're not as good as mine I'm currently equipped with. It's fun to make things disappear. I'm doing this area, and I'm going to point out something that is sort of a problem right now with my particular build. Both gear-wise and ability-wise, actually, is Act 3 is a royal pain for this guy. To the point where I don't even like playing Act 3 with him. Because everything has high Aether resistance. Or our Briar Thorns that... Excuse me. My throat's getting all scratchy because I just recorded with the Cavo. Yeah, Briar Thorns are a royal pain for this particular build when you don't have high Aether resistance. And I mean, Reflect kind of is a pain in general, but just all the Briar Thorns have it, and it just makes it a really, really bad time. I mean, like the Grobels are stupid easy to do, obviously, but it's... It's always difficult to handle things with high resistance or with reflect. I'm not using Haunt a lot because it's not like an ability I'm used to having. Also, these guys aren't very good for the beam. It's going to be a poor demonstration of that. But Haunt is actually one of those abilities you can just spam. So if I find more harpies... Ugh. Yep, dead. Deadski. A runestone. I'm considering a runestone for the helmet. I think I mentioned that. Really, Haunt, like, there's no discernible difference on normal guys. Whether or not they take more damage. So I do want to make one criticism of the Ray right now. It's not that it turns slow. It's not that it even takes up a lot of energy. I don't actually mind that aspect of the ability, but I think it needs more damage, because right now the beam feels really good, but I have had to do some really super intense gearing to get it working. And, like, this is all while I have Calidor's Tempest. And Calidor's Tempest, I'm not built for melee at all with this guy. And where am I looking for? I'm not built for melee at all with this guy. And... oh, I know where I'm going. Okay, I'm not built for melee at all with this guy. And Calidor's Tempest feels like an equal ability to the beam. Even though the build is built for the beam. And I really think that it just needs... like, the damage I have right now is the damage it should have as a real ability. Like, at level 16, it had something like... Another Riftstone. At level 16, it had something like 173 damage. I'm just coming out of memory on that for the Aether side of things. And here it has 211. And I think at 16, it should have 211. I think the damage just needs to be moved over about 4 or 5 levels. And then the beam will be perfect. That'll completely make up for the, like, not as great aspects about it, like it being slow and it having to do ticks and it like the turning radius that no one really likes, and, you know, it not piercing. I mean, oh no, don't Grim Dawn. Like, it doesn't pierce, it has slow ticks, it turns slow, and I think for an ability you get so late in the tree, it should just be, like, massively more powerful than what it is. Otherwise, I really enjoy this build outside of, like, the Act 3 areas, because Act 3 is just built against the Aether Ray guy. It's just built against my Aether guy right now. I shouldn't say that. I should just say my Aether build doesn't function well in Act 3 right now. Mostly because he doesn't have Aether resistance to handle some of the Briar Thorns. And if you compare it to, like, say, a Heartseeker build, you know, a Frenetic Throw, Phantasmal Blades build, like, that build has its stupid easy in Act 3. And, I mean, even looking at him now, he, like, has no constitution left. Because he's just been taking hits. So, yeah, I would really prefer it if just... Yeah, I'm just having trouble with Act 3 with him right now. And I'm sure if I build Aether resistance up a bit through components, I'll feel more fine about it. But right now I would just go and play my the playthrough Arcanist I was using. Oh, that was a mistake. That was me doing something really dumb. I went to try and haunt everything instead of just immediately killing it. Like I said, I'm not used to having that in my, like, rotation of abilities. I'm used to just having, like, oh, I have to walk all the way over there. It's closer on Smuggler's Pass side. I want to go kill that hero and then we'll be done, I think. So, I'm used to having, like, the Diablo controls, where I only have to really remember, like, 3 abilities. This might be bad. This might be bad. Oh, there's nowhere to run! Damn it! So I'm gonna make a point here. Yeah, my Frenetic Throw guy would have made mincemeat of those guys just instantly. And that's sort of one of the other problems. Because the beam only targets one guy, you get surrounded like that, you have to switch to Calidor's Tempest, and that's not what I want to play with this build. I mean, yes, I have it at I do have it at its max level, but it's like, I'm built for the beam. And that targets one thing. It targets one thing gloriously. But really, I think if the beam doesn't get a power... Nets. Freaking nets. You guys and your nets. I think if the beam doesn't get a power boost, it should at the very least start piercing things, because I should probably collect my corpse. Just keep the force of habit up. I really think the beam should either get a damage boost just so it can actually act as a vaporizing force, or it should get, you know, the ability to pierce things. I mean, I don't want to say make it like Disintegrate in Diablo 3, but they should probably consider making it like Disintegrate in Diablo 3. Stupid gnats! I'm an Arcanist that can bend space and time to my whim, and a net does me in? Big ration. I actually don't remember where I was going. Oh, right. Because, see, I have to stop and go like this now. Well, under my defenses, because I can't handle things surrounding me, so I have to not beam, and I want to beam. So yeah, that's my one criticism. Is it for being a single target ability, I do think it needs more damage, or be made into a multi-target ability. It's mostly because it's so late on the skill tree that it's like I would just want it to be something that feels worthy of being that late on the skill tree. It's just a little underwhelming for what it is. There are a few Arcanist abilities that are like that, where it's just, well, Blazewing's dead. There are a few Arcanist abilities that are just like that, where they're just like, oh, huh. Like, my Ivan Sphere's a little like that. I even put points into it, and I still was like, oh, huh. And I like what they do, but I think they just need a buff. Yeah, the Frenetic Throw build, the Heartseeker build, that doesn't need a nerf. Things need to be buffed to be like that. To when you've got your character fully geared out and spec'd out, they can just rampage through your preferred difficulty. Anyways, that was a little rant, and that was the Albrecht's Aether Ray Arcanist Update 2. Electric Boogaloo. With Hunt and the Nether Crown. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll probably upload... I may upload a build update for the other Arcanist, but I don't really know. And I'm gonna consider starting doing builds for either other Arcanists, Occultists, and maybe even classes that aren't even related to both of those. It depends on what I farm up for gear for those classes. And I think a Poison Occultist might be next on the list, but I'm not going to promise anything. So, thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys next time.